Hi, my loves. Welcome to the Get a Helmet podcast. Caroline here, and we are back with another mindful minisode. And this time it is part 2 of the Instagram live series that I did called Why Telling Your Story Matters. And this part is focused on using the power of video to elevate your mission. So whether you're a business owner, you are an artist, a healer, a change maker in the world, this is about using the power of video to connect deeper to your mission, deeper to yourself, and deeper to your people. This one is super near and dear to my heart as I am a filmmaker. And I share some details on the brand documentary process inside of Get a Helmet Studio and what the brand documentaries are that we're making to promote and share female-owned businesses and women's work in the world. So I get super lit up here and we have a really great time and I hope that you enjoy. And just another reminder too that the doors are still open to join my private membership community, The Circle. If you'd like to join, it's $14 a month. You get monthly full moon dance rituals, a second monthly meetup live with the entire group, access to your member portal, which is a library of healing practices for you to access at any time and to help you build your sustainable spiritual practice and to grow and expand. We've got meditations and somatic movement practices in there, breath work, energy work, and live recordings or recordings of all of the live sessions. So you really got it going on in there. And in addition, you get 15% off of all of the Get a Helmet offerings. So get in there. Please come join us. We're having so much fun already. This group of women is already so incredible and it will continue to expand. So lock in that founding member price for $14 a month and come dance with us. So enjoy this episode. This is, again, in honor of Get a Helmet Studio launching the production branch of the business, which is where we help you get your podcasts off the ground from scratch to launch, where we create video content to promote and elevate your mission. And it is so near and dear to my heart. I am a storyteller, I'm a filmmaker, and I'm a podcaster. And if you missed part 1 of the series, go back and listen to that. That one is focused on your voice being your power and how I started the Get a Helmet podcast and how I didn't even have a microphone for the first episode. So if you're feeling like you're ready to put yourself out there in a new way and to share creatively, to share your story, to share your mission, and to help people, you're in the right place. This is for you. So if you have any questions about starting a podcast or getting some video content made for your business, please reach out. hi@getahelmet.co. And of course, you can follow us over on Instagram at @getahelmet_, or you can follow Get a Helmet Studio at Get a Helmet Studio. I love you so much. Enjoy part 2 of this Instagram live series that I recorded, and I will see you next time. Hello, good morning. We are back with part 2 of this lovely Instagram live series, Why Telling Your Story Matters. This time, we're talking about video. We're talking about elevating your mission through the power of video, elevating what you're here to teach us on this planet, elevating your medicine, your creativity, your magic through the power of video. And the reason I'm doing this series is because Get a Helmet Studio is now live. And through Get a Helmet Studio, I am helping feminist identifying brands create video to share their work with the world. So this is for your business. This is for change makers in the world, artists in the world, anyone who could benefit from our brand documentaries. And so the brand documentary process is a deep healing for all parties involved. So I go in and I interview you and we talk without any cameras on at first. And we have a deep conversation. Sometimes it's repurposed for the Get a Helmet podcast. And I ask you these questions strategically to help you open up, to pull out the authentic things about you and your story and your why, like why it is that you're doing what you're doing, what makes you tick, what you're here to heal in the world, and what got you here. So oftentimes what comes through in those conversations are things that you maybe wouldn't have said to someone in just a regular conversation. So this is a very intimate conversation, and before we drop into it, we do a meditation together to ground. We do a little movement to get you into your body so that we can try and shake off any of that residual, I'm not enough, I can't do this, I'm anxious about being in front of a camera. It's really important to do that before you turn your camera on, because you can tell and your people can tell, and your message will not be able to come through as clearly unless you get into your body before you turn that camera on. So in the brand documentary making process, we are dropping into meditation, grounding down, and having that initial conversation without any cameras on. And so the audio is captured from that. And then I take that audio and I build a story from that. And so the story ends up being about 2 to 3 minutes long. Those brand documentaries are about 2 to 3 minutes long. Unfortunately, people's attention spans are not very wide anymore. So keeping them from about 2 to 3 minutes long, they're still incredibly powerful. And we shoot footage for a day or two, depending on your business, depending on how much you want to share. And then using all of the footage that we capture, I weave in that story, that audio story, over the footage that we've captured. And from there, we also have a ton of footage to create videos for your website, to create videos for social, for any other outlets that you're trying to promote through. And this is something that I help you with too in terms of strategy. What's the best way to promote your business? Where are your people? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Facebook? Are they on your website? Are they inside of your member community platform? Like how can you get direct contact to your people? And so the brand documentary process is a deep healing, not only for me because I get to learn you and your story and your work, but for you, because you get to share, you get to step into the seat of a creator and a leader and really be seen in a way that you maybe haven't been seen yet, to connect to your audience on such a deep level so that they can really, really get to know who you are. So that's connecting deeper with your current audience, and then also aligning with those clients that have not magnetized themselves to you just yet. And so the brand documentary process is so much fun. It's incredible. And so I am creating them through Get a Helmet for people to help them promote their business, promote their work, to get their message out there. And then from there, we have a ton of footage to work with to create other videos for stories, for your Instagram feed, for all of the things. So it's a really beautiful process. And that's like the technical, the deep video work that I'm doing. You know, I worked as a producer for many years. I directed a film called In This Body, which is a short film dedicated to women's body image and self-worth. It's at the link in my bio if you want to take a peek. But filmmaking is in my background. Filmmaking is who I am. It's a part of my story. When I was growing up, I often had a camera in my hand, just filming everything, like choreographing dances and making my sister do them with me and then turning the camera on. So I've either been dancing my entire life or I've been filming things my entire life. And so some would say that I'm living my purpose because that's what we're doing here at Get a Helmet. We're telling stories and we're dancing. Using the power of video to elevate your mission can happen in so many different ways. Like you can go through the work to get that really beautiful camera, to get it on a tripod, to set yourself up in front of a natural light source or buy that beautiful ring light and, you know, wear something that's not super patterned so that it's not creating weird images and things in your video screen and in the frame. There are so many little technical things that you can do to elevate the quality of your video. But the number one thing that matters is if you are in your confidence when you press record. If people feel and know that you are communicating right to them, looking directly in the camera, communicating directly to them, and speaking from your belly, speaking from the core of who you are, breathing into your body, versus they can feel that you're reading from a script, or they can feel that you're nervous. They can feel, they can't hear you. They can't connect with you well enough. So I would say before we even get to any of the technical stuff, this is about you connecting to your worth, to your mission on this planet, to your why. Why are you sharing this? Who are you communicating with? And really getting into the energy of that person. Getting into the energy of, I'm helping the person who's watching this. And so from that place, people feel more connected to you. So even when I'm jumping on my stories, like honestly, the other night, I swear I jumped on my Instagram stories and it was like dark out. You could not see me at all. And of course, like that's authentic to who I am. It's authentic to who I am to like be a little weird and really just feel like I have something coming through strong that I want to share and stand under a street lamp and turn it on. So quality of video, technically speaking in that moment, not so great, right? Like you can't even see me in that moment. But what was really powerful about that is I was feeling what I was communicating and people responded to the message because it also resonated with them. And I put captions on there so you could read, and I put little subtitles and everything so that you could understand what it was. And it was kind of a joke. It was like part of the joke. Of course, when we're creating brand documentaries, we're making sure that we can see you. But for the purpose of jumping on your Instagram stories, notice if you have these beautiful ideas to press that record button, or you feel like there's something that you really want to share, but you're not doing it. That's where you should start. What is stopping you from sharing your story? What is stopping you from believing in what it is that you have to share with everybody else in your community, everybody else watching, even if you've got like 2 people following you? What is stopping you from feeling that you are worthy enough of sharing your work with this world? And so when we create the brand documentaries, they're most usually with people who have an established business, an established podcast that they want to promote, established art, but they're ready to take that next step to really, really, really put themselves out there, to invest in a creative project for themselves, and to use that to leverage their magic, to gain so much client retention, to create new leads, to magnetize those people. So it's like a connection with your current audience and your future audience. Because when you create something so beautiful and you show up authentically and you tell your story, there are other people out there who need to hear what it is that you have to share. And so that story loops in those dream clients. It loops in the right people. And so that like know, like, trust factor that people are always talking about, right? Like, how do I grow my following? Or how do I get more clients? And all these things. It's like know, like, trust. They want to know you, they want to like you, and then they'll trust you. Sure, that's all true. But how do they do that? You've got to share with them who you are. You've got to turn the video camera on. You've got to put that YouTube video up. You've got to create content from your podcast so people can hear what's on your podcast. You've got to share. So if you're sitting on this idea or you're sitting on this project that you're already building, what is stopping you from really sharing that? Is it like, I don't want to be too salesy? I don't have the time. I feel stupid even turning this on. Like, I feel like I don't even have anything to share or say, or like my video quality is not good enough, or like whatever. Like, obviously showing up on Instagram stories is a very casual place to show up. Like I said, it was dark out the other night when I went live on my stories, and you couldn't even see me. So, and today, like, you can see me clearly. There's a window in front of me, so the light is coming and shining on me. I'm not using any other source of light. I don't have a ring light at all, but my phone is on a tripod, and this tripod was like $50 on Amazon. And this is the thing that I carry around with me everywhere. This is for the purpose of me being able to turn this thing on, communicate with you so that you can get to know me, get to know my work, and to trust me. And there's no way that your people, that your clients, that those people out there in the world right now who need your magic can get to know you if you don't share who you are. So that is the power of video and elevating your mission. People want to see you. They want to hear your voice. I think if I had to pick the second most important thing besides you being in your confidence when you press record and you really connecting to what it is that you're trying to communicate in your mission and the person that you're trying to communicate with, is that audio quality. Can we hear you? Can we hear you clearly? Can we like really drop into this experience? I honestly feel that that actually might be more important than the video quality, especially on something like going live or Instagram stories. So if anybody has any questions, I am here to answer them. But the power of video is all about you showing up authentically. And that means maybe like not looking at other people's Instagrams for a little while so that you're not influenced by what other people are saying, and trusting that you already know. You already know what it is you need to communicate. You already know in your heart, in your soul, what your soul is here to communicate with everyone else. Hi, Danielle. You know. So rather than searching outside of yourself or looking to a million other people's Instagrams to see what they're doing, can you get quiet for a little while? Can you really connect to what it is that you are here to share with your people? The version of you that you're here to step into. And this is why the brand documentaries are so powerful, because usually the women that I work with are right at that place where they're like, I believe in this work, I believe in my mission, and I am ready to put myself out there. And getting in front of a camera is really vulnerable. It's vulnerable, it feels weird at first, and so is entrepreneurship. So is being an artist. So is someone leaving a mark on the world. So that's leaving a mark on the world and being a change maker. Those are all very vulnerable things. It requires your courage. It requires that you step outside of that comfort zone and press record. And guess what? Do you know how many times I've gotten on Instagram stories and it's like been ridiculous, or like maybe hasn't landed with everybody? Like, cool. Every time I do that, I learn. And I hear from you what it is that you're learning and what's resonating most with you and what I feel best about. And then we can meet in that beautiful sweet spot in the middle where I'm able to share exactly what I was put on this planet to share, and you're gaining the inspiration and the teachings that you need from what I have to say. And so that is the power of video. It's like connecting, seeing my face, seeing your face, because when you jump on your Instagram stories or you get a brand documentary made for your business, we can see you, we can feel your magic, and we can understand the threads of your story that are the same as mine, that are the exact same as mine. Because people want to work with someone who understands them. People want to work with someone that they can get to know as much as possible before they invest in your services. And the way to do that is through video. The way to communicate directly without getting them on the phone, before getting them on the phone, is video. People want to see your face. They want to hear your passion. They want to understand what it is that you have to offer. And so people want to be a part of a community too, right? Like, that's why I opened my private membership, The Circle. Building a community. People want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of people being able to inspire me and lift me up and support me. Community is how humans like move through life. And so when we use video, especially now, I mean, moving out of the pandemic and coming out of this like virtual reality, the power of video has, grown even more. And people have, I've honestly, I feel like I've gotten a little bit more used to having to communicate through video and like teaching my somatic movement practices through video, and all of my private coaching clients are virtual. And so, and it's still powerful. And I actually took a class with my friend Amy, who she is a brand documentary client of Get a Helmet. And her brand documentary is so beautiful. You can go watch it. I'll post it over at Get a Helmet Studio today, actually. It is so beautiful. And I took a class with Amy called The Art of Virtual Intimacy. How can we create that same level, or get close to that level of connection that we feel when we're person to person, but doing it virtually? And honestly, like, there's something about this like barrier that's here between me and you. Like, I can't see you right now. You can only see me. I'm basically talking to myself on a phone. And for some people, that barrier almost allows them to step into their confidence a little bit more. And so maybe the next step up from that is being on a Zoom call where you can see everybody else and there's more of an interaction. Then it's like, okay, wow, I'm being seen here. Like, how many of us have jumped on something virtually during the pandemic and kept our video off? So many, right? Anytime I'm teaching inside of the circle or doing one of my full moon dance rituals and people have their camera off, I really encourage them to turn it on, to get a taste of what that vulnerability feels like. I also give you full permission to turn it off whenever you want to turn it off. If you want to have a little you moment, no problem. But notice when you're letting fear get in your way. So what if you turn your camera on and like your hair is on top of your head and like It doesn't look like a curated background from Instagram. So what? What are you making that mean about you? So what if you show up a little messy? So what if you show up and you don't really know what you're going to say or what you have to offer, but you let the experience unfold? So what? It's like, what are you making that mean? The number one thing, right, we talked about was you being in your confidence. And then I was like, audio quality might be the next thing that I say. But before that, it's you just press and record. Just press record. Just press record, or look to the people who can help you and support you in that. You know, like we get so in our heads about things having to be so perfect. They really don't need to be. They don't need to be at all. Like I said yesterday on part 1 of this Instagram live series, Your Voice is Your Power, I was talking about the Get a Helmet podcast. I was talking about how I literally didn't even own a microphone for the first episode. I borrowed a microphone from my guest. And that was just the beginning. Sometimes that's just like the little push that you need. Just press record. Just start. And if you need any help with getting there, reach out to me. Because my private mentorship containers are now including this level of coaching. If you want to start a podcast, if you're looking into stepping into your next level of business, I'm also including that now in my private mentorship containers. So if that's something that you want help on through Get a Helmet Studio, I mean, we're helping people get their podcasts off the ground from scratch to launch. And so it's such an incredible process. And the technical stuff is what overwhelms people. And that's my background. So, I mean, I literally jumped into the podcast world and didn't know what I was doing because like no one really did like 4 years ago. And I taught myself how to do it. And since then, I've helped people get their podcasts off the ground. So if you have like a little seed of an idea for something that you want to share with the world and you're not quite sure where to even start, I offer one-on-one sessions to help you strategize and point you in the right direction of where to even begin, what tools to use, and we spend some time just hashing it out. Or we can go into a longer container so that I can help you really figure out exactly what it is that you need to say and get that beautiful podcast launched. And then the next offering on top of that is the brand documentary. So if you want to implement video content into your business to help you elevate that beautiful mission that you are here on this planet to share, let's do it. Let's do it. So if you want to check out some of the other work, you can go to Get a Helmet Studio. The Instagram handle is Get a Helmet Studio. And I'll share that brand documentary with Amy today because I haven't even posted it over there yet, but it's such a beautiful, powerful one. And it was literally just me and my friend Kat who shot it with me on set. So these projects, the brand documentary specifically, are very intimate experiences. I'm not bringing a ton of people on set. And when we have that initial conversation where we drop into meditation and ground down and we have that conversation where you really open up and share with me who you are and what your story is, it's just us. It's just us, no cameras, no one else. And that makes it so much more special. And I think it's a beautiful place to start that filmmaking process because it builds trust between you and me. And I can truly get to know you, and then I sit with that audio and I build the story from that audio. So I'm really, really, really understanding the ins and outs of who you are. And I think that that is my magic, being able to help people pull their stories out of them to then get that message to even more people. I do think that that is my mission on this planet. And here I am using video to share it. What else did I want to say to you? We talked about the no like trust marketing, blah, 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 language, which is true. And this is why people want to know you. And how are they supposed to know you when you're not sharing who you are? How are they supposed to trust you if they can't get a taste of who you are? So press record. Press record. And think about, this is something else I was going to say. Think about something that you've purchased. Think about something that you've invested in that was maybe like a little bit of a stretch for you. Why did you invest in that product? Why did you invest in that service or that person, that coach, that mentor? I think for me, I think back on, I watched as many videos of that person as I could possibly find. I wanted to hear them speak. I wanted to see what their energy felt like on camera. I wanted to feel like they were communicating to me. I wanted to hear their experiences, their failures. I wanted to hear where they messed up and they still got to where they are. That is the power of storytelling. That is the power of you sharing your ups and your downs and not hiding behind them, and being able to then create space for that person watching you to step into exactly who they are and for them to share their story. I remember falling in love with film when I was a teenager, if not before, and watching these movies and feeling like I was going through it, teenage girl, things are going on at home, little cray cray. I'm watching these movies and I'm seeing myself in these characters. And I remember feeling so liberated and feeling so at peace during a time of such confusion that other people, and through the power of story, I felt like I belonged a little bit more. I believed in myself a little bit more. And so when you think about it that way, you sharing your service and your offers and your art with the world, that you are going to be doing that, you will be doing that for someone else. Whether it's one person or it's 100,000 people, you will be doing that. Let that light you up. It definitely lights me up when anyone sends me a message. It was like, I listened to your podcast today and it changed my day, or our, working with you in private mentorship has transformed who I am. Like, the messages that I receive literally keep me going. They keep me going. And so that conversation, that story exchange is medicine to all of us. To all of us. We all need that. We need that encouragement. We need to be like, oh, it's okay for me to be feeling this way. Thank you for sharing that you were feeling that way. Now I feel like I can. It's just beautiful. And it's why I've always been in love with story. What else did I want to say? Coming from that place, like when someone's having a hard moment, when someone's going through something and they share that, I love seeing that, especially on Instagram, like on this platform, like when people show up imperfectly rather than like this curated life with their like perfect looking latte. It's like, oh, showing up imperfectly, showing up when they're struggling, showing up vulnerably. When I see that in someone else, I'm able to then get through my dark moments with a little bit more grace. And that's, again, the power of community, the power of us sharing, the power of story, the power of you sharing exactly who you are with the world, with one person, with one person. And when we let our stories exist, we invite others to see themselves more clearly. And so if you've been thinking about, you're at that place in your business where you feel like you're ready to invest in something that can really get your story and your mission out there to help magnetize you to even more clients, to retain even more clients, to help get those clients who've been following you and maybe DMing you to actually purchase your products and to invest in you, because this will show them who you are and what you do and the power of what you do, and you're ready to make a brand documentary, please reach out. I would love to work with you. And same with the podcasting. If there's something that you've been sitting on and you're ready to put it out into the world, but you're overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed by all of the million things that you have to do to get a podcast off the ground. That's what we can help you with. So come and reach out, tell that beautiful story, and just press record. Just press record. What else did I want to say? Yeah, I jumped on here and we're doing this 2-part series because Get a Helmet Studio is live, and I've been running all of my production work through Get a Helmet forever and ever and ever, and will continue to. And so I created this little space on Instagram, Get a Helmet Studio, to focus specifically on the filmmaking, the podcasting, all of the production stuff. So this is really in celebration and honoring of that coming to life and, taking up its own intentional space. And, wanting to share this part of my work even more because, I work with women one-on-one to help them with anxiety and to really step into their power. And we just opened the circle to be like a community space for healing and to do our dance rituals and all of that. And all of that work, it's basically the same. It's basically the same thread of you stepping into your confidence, you owning who you are, and meeting anxiety, meeting fear, meeting any shame or guilt that comes up in your system with the most compassion possible. And this is what I recognized was missing when I was on set, you know, in my 20s when I was working in production. We would be like, lights, camera, action, cool, cool, cool. And the person in front of the camera, unless they were a professional actor, and even then, when they were, I would be like, this person is out of their body. They are terrified. They are not breathing into their diaphragm and into their belly. They are unclear of what they're even communicating. They're not connected to the mission of the video. Everyone in this room is kind of like, when's lunch, you know? And I was like, something's missing here. Why have we not taken a breath to get into the same vibe of like the story that we're even trying to tell right now? And I remember physically walking up to people who were stepping in front of the camera. Like we would make a lot of brand videos for big corporations. And so people that worked at these offices would come in and speak about whatever it was they were speaking about. And they're not actors, you know? And so I would literally go up to them and I would put my hands on their shoulders with consent. And I would say, do you mind if I lead you through a little breath work? Can you breathe into your belly? Can you close your eyes for a moment? Can you let everyone else here disappear? And let's talk about what you're communicating. Let's get on the same page of what's the most important thing. What is this video about? What is this video about? And I remember going up to multiple people and them being like, this is so weird, you know, at first. And then they were like, thank you so much. You know, and it's like the person with the camera in their hand and the person in front of the camera should be on the exact same page about what it is that you're trying to communicate. What is the purpose of the video that you're creating? And that was missing so much. I mean, it feels like such a simple thing, but as a producer, that was my job, communicating to the person operating the camera, the person in front of the camera, the person editing the final piece. Are we all on the same page of what the actual purpose of this video is? What's the vibe that we want? What are we going for? And that was missing so often. And usually someone stepping in front of a camera, like I've been saying, is having an incredibly vulnerable experience. So how can we support them in that? How can we support them in that? Rather than like, okay, just run through it. We got 10 minutes and then we got to move on to the next thing because that's like so how it works, you know, which of course we need to be on schedule, but it's like, is everyone in their body right now? Like, can we start there? Because the result, the final result will be so much more potent and beautiful if we can take that time. And so on the set of In This Body, that was our mission. I mean, it was an all-female cast and crew. That day was a full vibe. Everyone operating a camera, operating a light was a woman. We meditated, we danced before we got started. And yes, we had a schedule to keep to. I was like borrowing a studio space for a day, so we had a lot to shoot in one day. But we made it happen. We brought that beautiful divine feminine energy into that space. And, you know, with you know, video and film being so incredibly male dominated, which is beautiful, we were bringing in the feminine to that space. And it was so transformational. And we were telling such vulnerable stories. I mean, women were telling stories about their relationship to their body. They were standing up there and dancing in front of a crowd of other women. And it was an incredibly vulnerable experience, but they were held and they were supported and everyone was on the same page. And so they were in their bodies and their performances were astounding. Like I have full body chills even saying this. You should go watch the film. That's something else that I need to post on Get a Helmet Studio, but it's at the link in my bio here. Yes, it was beautiful. Yes. Hi, Cece. Nice to have you. So that is what I wanted to bring to production, was a consciousness, an intentionality, a mindfulness, the divine feminine, period. And so you can see it in that final product. And the same with the brand documentary that I created for Amy of the Pleasure Center. I mean, her work is pretty radical. She's talking about sex positivity. She's talking about pleasure, not even in just the form of in the sexual realm, but just like feeling pleasure as a human, like eating your food with intention and like feeling joy. Her work is radical and it's also incredibly intimate. And so we sat down and we talked about what even led her to doing this work. And of course, her story is incredible. Her story's incredible. And she's on the podcast, and her brand documentary is so beautiful. And it's because we spent the time to let her shine, to let her authenticity come forward, to let her story and her mission come forward, and not like be so bogged down by the like technical shit, or, you know, how is this supposed to look, or how is this video going to convert, or whatever. It's like, your people are your people. Your clients are your clients because they're going to know you, they're going to like you, and they're going to trust you. And how do we get them to do that? You tell your story and you show up as exactly who you are. And the most powerful way to show that without being face to face with a person is through the power of video. And so go check out In This Body if you haven't. Go watch the brand documentary. I've got a couple of them. They're floating around on the Get a Helmet page, but I'll post them on Get a Helmet Studio too. Yes, I'm sure you also provided the safe space for her to share her story. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Totally. That's kind of like what I'm trying to communicate here. And this is why, like, the work that I do, you know, my healing work and empowerment work with women and helping them with anxiety, I mean, it's the same, you know, like doing that in front of the camera or before we turn that camera on. It's like, I want you to be as unaware of that camera as you possibly can be. I want you to be in your experience. And this is another reason why we record all of the audio before we even turn a camera on, because then the rest of the shoot is really, we're just shooting B-roll. I'm able to just follow you around so that you can be in your vibe and in your energy. And we're not doing any seated interviews. We're not doing anything where you're seated in front of like a backdrop or something pretty, unless that's something that you truly, truly want. The way that I've always done it is there's none of that. There's none of that. It's a documentary style brand video for you. And it is about creating that safe space, because for any of us, for me, I'm not even going to lie. Like, before you press live on this thing, like, of course I'm kind of like, okay, here we go, you know, deep breath. So you need to be supported in that process. We're all humans, and showing up and telling your story is brave and courageous. And that's what was missing in production for me. And I was like, this is a big deal. This person is talking about something very personal to them. Is anyone going to be like, can we get in that same energetic frequency right now? You know, and like my like empathetic heart and like healer energy was like, whoa, I need to do some like distance Reiki on this person right now because they are sharing something. You know what I mean? So that's why I say creating the brand documentaries is a healing. It's a healing for me. It's a healing for you. It's a healing for every woman on set. Because yes, we're working with an all-female team. So it's a vibe. It is a full vibe. I appreciate your vibe. Thank you for being here, Cece. It's so nice to have you. So yes, if you're thinking about creating video content for your business or something to promote your art or your mission on this planet, if you are ready to create that intentional brand documentary and really help elevate where you're at in your business and magnetize those clients that are like circulating in the ethers, ready to be a part of your world, reach out to me. And if you're also looking to create a podcast, we talked about this on part 1 on Saturday, so you can go listen. And I'm also going to put these up on the Get a Helmet podcast. So if you're listening to the podcast right now, hello. But if you're thinking about starting a podcast, or if you already have a podcast and you just want a little bit more support in like fine tuning and like help me shape my story and like help me with the technical stuff and like, how do I get more people to listen? Reach out. We can help you with that too. And all through this lens, all through the lens of, are you in your authenticity? Are you hiding behind a version of yourself that you think is going to be more accepted? Or are you being you? Because anything that I produce, anything that Get a Helmet works on is going to be focused on the core of who you are. That is the mission. And that is what can be elevated with the power of video and the power of your voice. And so that basically concludes this 2-part series. If you have any questions, please reach out. Like I said, my private mentorship has opened up to include podcast consulting and coaching. And if you want to work together, create a brand documentary, please reach out. I would love to help you share who you are and get your story out there and elevate your beautiful conscious business into this world from a heart-centered place. Yes, let's do it. And go follow Get a Helmet Studio. We're going to be sharing a lot more information there, all about all of the film production and podcast production work that I do. And of course here as well, to get you into the right headspace, to get you into the right vibration, to get you in your body, to get you in your worth, so that you're operating from an aligned place, not trying to perform or be someone that you're not, but to get you connected to you. Thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful, beautiful week. What a way to kick off the week here. And like I said, I'll be posting this up on here, like the replay will be on Instagram, and this will be on the podcast as well. So if you've got any video or podcast questions, come flow in, here to support you in your mission, here to support you in telling your story, and have a beautiful day. Bye.